The Meddlesome Meeples present The Quest Report with Matt and Richard.
In popular culture, board gamers are often depicted as shy and introverted. Well, some of us are, and some of us don't know many, if any, other gamers within our immediate social groups. But with the advent of social media, gamers are meeting and connecting online, resulting in some very large and tight-knit communities. Some of them accomplish wonderful things together. Recently, I caught up with the admin of the largest UK-based Facebook gaming group, Chris Bromley from the Board Game Trading and Chat UK group, to talk about the group itself, some of the ways they've helped charity and other causes in the past, how their latest charity fundraiser is by far the biggest one yet, and how people can get involved and help a fellow gamer in need. So joining Richard and I today is Chris Bromley from the Facebook group Board Game Trading and Chat UK. Hi Chris, thank you for joining us.
Hi guys.
So Chris, just to give us a bit of background, how long have you been involved in tabletop gaming?
I first played D&D when I was about 12. My dad ran a few games. I then fairly quickly got into... I was a big reader of 2000 AD, and I'm not sure, I think when the Judge Dredd came out, Judge Dredd game came out by Games Workshop, I got into Games Workshop games, so I did a lot of their tabletop games, Warhammer 40,000, that kind of thing for a good long while. But continued with D&D. At one point I was playing several D&D sessions a week with different DMs at the same place, same house, but different DMs on different nights of the week. I kind of gave everything up when I went to college, and then got back into it for a while. Mainly again role playing, but a couple of years, maybe 3 years ago, I after a very long 10-year gap with no gaming at all, I bumped into an old D&D buddy who invited me to a weekly board game night at his house, which I did on Saturdays for a good year, and then a couple of years ago started playing more at my house.
So you're the admin of the largest UK-based Facebook group for board gamers,
Yeah.
Board Game Trading and Chat UK. Can you tell us a little bit about the group and how you've formed and grown that group?
A few years ago, maybe two and a half years ago, initially it was simply a case of I wanted to create somewhere where I could get some bargains. I had bought a few games off various people online. My options were limited as far as, I mean, obviously these games aren't cheap, and I wanted somewhere to get cheaper games effectively. So I started the group and invited all my friends and invited a few people that I'd already bought off from various different sites online. I got very, very lucky, I think, in that first few, because they invited their friends, and a couple of them at least were quite big in sort of organized play and con gaming. So we seemed to get a lot of people. I mean, it got to 100 within maybe 2 weeks, and then not long after that, like I say, a few of those people just invited more and more people, and it just kind of snowballed, and we got to the point now where we're getting over 300 new members a month, and we're over 100,000 interactions a month. That's likes, comments, and posts, obviously.
That's an incredibly active group there. It's quite nice that it's sort of grown from the ground up as well, from the grassroots, so to speak. So over the last few months, the group's been involved in a number of very successful charitable causes, raising money to help ones with difficulties. Could you just share with us, how that came about and what sort of things the group's raised money for in the past?
Yeah, initially we had a couple of occasions where you always get this sort of thing where somebody bought a game off somebody else and the game went missing in the post, or somebody bought a game off somebody and they just completely disappeared. And obviously these sort of transactions tend to be around about 30, 70, that sort of area. Nothing huge. And somebody brought it up one day in the group. I think I offered to give them a $5 or something to go towards it. And before I knew it, there were so many offers that effectively the guy got his money back, half an hour later. Which was just amazing. and that happened a couple of times. There was one where a member of the group said that he was going to sell some games to get some money together to replace his son's bike. I think his son was about 4 at the time, and he had his bike stolen from the garden. And I just said that's no reason to sell games. So we kind of did a surprise. It was somebody else in the group's idea, but we got together and just put a few quid in each. And a couple of days later, we got a brand new version of the same bike delivered to the house. So yeah, it's just been little things like that.
Oh, that's great because you don't want him to lose his games as well.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. So the people in the group are from different areas and different backgrounds, and probably just have that one common interest about the love of board games. So why do you think they've been able to work together to raise funds for good causes like this?
I think to a certain degree that's testament to the nature of board gamers as a whole. I think if our group was an Xbox gaming group or something like that, I don't think you would get the same response. I mean, I've got nothing against Xbox gamers, but I think gamers, board gamers, table gamers, tend to be possibly more thoughtful, maybe slightly more mature. Certainly, in my experience, they're definitely more helpful, more giving. I've quite often been told when I meet people at cons and things like that, I've been told that being admin on a Facebook group is a thankless task, and also that it's hard work. But I always say that it isn't either of those things. There isn't a week that goes by where I don't get thanked by somebody in the group or somebody that I meet for the group, which is incredible. And as far as the hard work, 99% of my interactions with members of the group are brilliant. It's not often that I have to say, cut it out or, be an admin effectively. I'm just a very happy member of a group. So yeah, I think that is testament to gamers.
I think to some extent having that kind of atmosphere in a group shows the makeup of a group, because if you are having to constantly deal with problems and you've got constant headaches and stress from running a group, it says a lot about the group itself and the members in it. So, whereas if everything runs smoothly, then that speaks positively about the members, doesn't it?
It's a group of over 6,000 currently, with 2 admins, me and Martin Cubley, who is an awesome second in command. I know if ever I don't have time or energy to do, group stuff and check on things, I know he's there. And the best thing, because this kind of community with this kind of person and these kind of people is self-policing, we both know that the community has got our back. So if we get so many requests for membership, but if we allow somebody in that's just there to spam adverts for whatever, and this happens, we know that somebody in the community is going to send us a PM and let us know that it's happened, and we can go straight on and cut it out. So we've often discussed whether we need another admin, but we haven't. Which is, if you think about it, with the internet the way it generally is, and that number of users, a huge number of which are active, to be able to do it with 2 admin is incredible.
Because you get as well, I think about 300 new members a month at the minute, something like that.
That's currently, yeah. Last month I think it was 350.
You would expect with such a high number of newcomers to have a lot more problems. Just if only personality clashes and differences of opinion. So that speaks very positively to the group.
Definitely.
Now, the group at the minute is trying to raise funds, aren't they, to help a member with a disability to get some equipment that the government sadly doesn't provide. That's going to make a huge difference on her life, her health, her independence. That's for Annette. Can you tell us a little bit about Annette and what the group's trying to achieve?
Yeah, Annette was one of our first handful of members, really. We got a lot within the first couple of hundred. We got a fairly large group of gamers from Wales. And that's where Annette was living at that time. She had a major operation, a tumour removed from her spine when she was a small, effectively a baby. And from that time forward, she's been paralysed. She's always tried to be as independent as she can. She's always contributed a huge amount. She's got a family, she's always had a job. And she's discovered this thing called a hand bike. And it's something that it's like an electric hybrid trike, effectively, that she can control and pedal with her hands, and it's electric assist. And I think it's the kind of thing that not only will it give her some independence that she currently doesn't have because her health is far worse now than it has been for a long time because of various complications. It's an independence thing. It's an exercise thing. It's one of those things that I think is going to improve the quality of life a huge amount, unmeasurable. But unfortunately, it's £7,000. I mean, it's a custom built thing, so it's understandably expensive. So she came to me and asked if I could help get this funding started, and the group has just been absolutely incredible. I think on the first night we got something like £1,800 in direct contributions, and from that point forward, we've been running daily raffles to just keep the money coming in, really, and it's going really well. I think we're pretty much at the one week in, and I think we've just tipped over £4,000.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
absolutely incredible.
Again, it's testament to the community, without doubt. It's the members of the group that are amazing, absolutely amazing.
So this equipment's going to help her to maintain some independence. It's going to help her to get some exercise and have, real tangible health benefits. If people want to get involved and help out, whether they're inside the board game trading and chat group or if they're outside the board game trading and chat group, what can we do to help?
Well, within the group, enter the raffles. That's obviously the main way we can do it. We've had lots and lots of things donated. We've got a donation package coming from Games Law. We've got a donation coming from Devil Pig Games. We've got lots of YouTubers getting involved with doing little bits. We've got a couple of signed goodies from the guys that are making Legends Untold. We've got all sorts coming in, but donating games for us to raffle, getting involved in the raffle. As far as being outside the group, the best thing to do would be to go to the Just Giving page, search for Annette Lolley, read the story, see the kind of changes that it's going to make, and just give whatever you can. justgiving.com and search for Annette Lolley.
So even if somebody, doesn't have much, they can maybe donate, a game or something for a raffle, or just give a £1 or £2 on the Just Giving page.
Yeah, the minimum donation on the Just Giving page is £2, but the vast majority of that will end up funding the bike. A small percentage is taken to help other people with other charitable causes. But yeah, if you're not in the group, a couple of quid, every little helps.
I mean, I know Annette personally myself. I've known her for many years, and I know she's somebody that does get involved and help out. I mean, one of the things that she's known for recently is helping to get games for kids in hospital.
Yep,
that they can,
absolutely.
Small little games that they can play when they're stuck in hospital for a while. And so she does do a lot for charity herself, and she's always tried to be there for people in need.
That's a good thing to do, giving the games to the hospital.
I mean, I've known Annette since I was a kid, and she really is somebody that's worth helping out. She took a lot of time and care with me as a child. So personally, I can vouch for Annette and for her cause there. And,
yeah, she's clearly a contributor. She's always contributed to the group. She's asked interesting questions and got conversations flowing. And like you say, the hostel stuff has always come up every now and again in the group to get games donated. So yeah, she's obviously a giver as much as she can be.
And I think it's incredible that she's managed to achieve so much, with her own health problems. She's not just focusing on her own health. Despite that, she's still trying to help other people. And that is what we need in today's world, isn't it? We need more people out there doing those sort of things.
When you take into consideration her ill health and the problems that this situation has given us, it absolutely amazes me how much she gives back.
There we are. So please, by all means, if you can go onto Just Giving, search for Annette Lolley, please do that. If you can only give a couple of £, it's going to really be appreciated. As the saying goes, every little helps.
Absolutely.
So thank you very much for joining us today, Chris. And
yes, thank you.
We wish you all the best with the group and with the campaign for Annette.
No problem. Thanks, guys.
Now, before we go, just thought we'd share with you something directly from Annette's fundraising page, which is at justgiving.com/fundraising/Annette-Lolley. Which you can find just by going straight to justgiving.com and searching for Annette Lolley. This is her story directly from the Just Giving page. Annette has been paralysed for most of her life. At only 14 months old, she had a spinal tumour removed, leaving her with little movement and power in her legs. That hasn't stopped her leading a full life, gaining a university degree, working in local government, getting married and raising a family. She's used a wheelchair full-time for most of her life, but is now struggling with chronic shoulder pain from a lifetime of relying on her shoulders for everything. Additionally, 6 years ago, Annette developed pulmonary failure. In order to keep her heart and lungs as healthy as possible and slow down the progression, she needs to take regular, gentle cardio exercise, but because of her shoulder condition, she struggles to push her wheelchair on uneven ground, restricting her ability to exercise in this way immensely. Annette lives in rural Scotland and is working with Aspire, a spinal injury charity, to raise funds to buy a hybrid manual/battery operated handbike attached to a custom-made wheelchair. This specialist piece of equipment will transform Annette's life. It'll enable Annette to exercise, getting out into the local countryside, and spend quality time with her friends and family, including her 5 grandchildren. She'll also be able to independently exercise her assistance dog. As the bike is a hybrid handbike, it means Annette will be able to cycle it herself, but if she needs a rest or some extra power, be that going uphill or over uneven terrain, the bike's battery will kick in. The ability to push further on different terrain will also help her to build a strength and stability around her back and shoulders and maintain good heart and lung health for as long as possible. This in turn will have a beneficial impact on her overall well-being. The handbike and wheelchair will cost £7,000, and sadly there's no government funding for this type of equipment. £7,000 will only provide the basic setup of wheelchair and bike. Any additional money raised will go towards an extra backup battery, road tyres, a helmet and protective clothing. Through your help, we can raise the full amount and greatly enhance Annette's quality of life. Additionally, 7% of the total raise will be donated to Aspire, a spinal injuries charity, to help others in need. Thank you.
Farewell, Quester. To find out about other productions by the Middleton Meeples, then check out our channel or rendezvous with us at middletonmeeples.com. Until next time, Quester, farewell and keep thine axe sharp.